What's our mission today?
I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to finding out.
There goes our Agents for Change call.
Hello, Agents for Change. Your mission for today is to tackle a science experiment. We want you to follow on from the trashy work you did with fellow Agent for Change, Ms. Ruth Yap. You need to find out more about greenhouse gases. Your mission is to test the hypothesis that food scraps and plastic containers give off gas. The experiment has been sent to your inbox. Any questions?
Just one question. What is a hypothesis?
Excellent question, Trash. A hypothesis is an educated guess, or a guess you make based on information you already know.
Oh, when we last met Miss Ruth, she told us that food scrap in plastic bags give off methane and carbon dioxide.
Then this experiment is to test the hypothesis that food scraps in plastic containers give off gas.
Exactly. Agents for Change, do you accept this gassy science challenge?
Yeah!
This sounds cool. You know, Trish, I feel like my trashy senses are gonna tingle again with this experiment.
I think you're right, Trash. Looking at this experiment, we're going to learn how much methane gas is produced from different types of food scraps.
Before we start though, let's have a quick recap of what Ruth Yap told us.
When organic matter breaks down under low oxygen conditions, like in a plastic bag, they release methane and carbon dioxide.
When organic matter is in a plastic bag, it will need to rot without oxygen. And this has a very long name. It's called anaerobic decomposition. Anaerobic means without oxygen.
You might be wondering, how exactly does food break down without oxygen? Well, in anaerobic decomposition, a type of bacteria works to break down the food waste. This bacteria has been around for millions of years, even longer than plants have existed.
And what happens when the food breaks down? It releases methane and other gases, like carbon dioxide. Remember? This can cause climate change.
But these gases, if harnessed correctly, can be used as a source of energy. We call this biogas.
In this experiment, we're going to show you how biogas is made using our own anaerobic environment.
You said gas?
And we will see how much methane gas is produced from different types of food scraps.
Basically, we're gonna make our bottles give off gas.
First of all, we will need the following materials. 4 balloons, 4 bottles, a funnel, duct tape, a permanent marker, and a ruler.
You will also need a teaspoon, kitchen scales, water, and a blender if you have one.
Lastly, make sure you have something to record the experiment. A blank book or paper and a writing pen.
Write and record everything we do because science is a process which helps us figure out how things in the universe affect each other.
And in order to do the process accurately, we need a systematic, scientific method.
This means you must conduct your experiment using a strict, reliable method.
You need to take measurements carefully and often.
And analyze your information in a logical way. Then you can make conclusions from it.
We've created a template for you, which you can use if you like. Download it from our website, Agents for Change. There's a lot of useful information on that website for you to use.
Back to today's experiment. How much methane gas is produced from different types of food scraps? Step 1. Mush or puree your fruit and veggies. We have bananas, onions, and cabbages.
You are going to need an adult's help with getting the food pureed.
If you have a friend with super strength like Trish, you can always get some help with the mushing.
If you don't want to cry from the onions, then you can put on safety glasses.
Or goggles. Step 2. You need to measure how much each of your purees weigh. They must weigh exactly the same. Put them into separate containers. This is the job for your kitchen scales. Carefully measure out each of your mushed up materials.
Step 3. Next, take your permanent marker and your 4 bottles and label them. Bananas, onions, cabbage, and your control. You might be wondering, what is a control?
Easy. It's not giving off gas when in a small room.
No, the definition of a control is a sample that remains the same throughout the experiment. So, as we are testing the hypothesis that food scraps in plastic bags give off gas, the control bottle would have no fruit or vegetables in it.
Step 4. Using your funnel and teaspoon, place each of your mushed up materials into the correctly labeled bottle. Then fill the bottle to the top with water.
Once that's done, take your balloon and duct tape and attach it onto the bottle.
And do it to the other 3 bottles.
Here's the control bottle we talked about before. It has no fruit or vegetables in it, as we want to test the hypothesis that it's the food scraps that are giving off gas.
Over the course of a week, you need to try and record what happens to the balloons. Try to check at least once a day at the same time.
And also write down your hypothesis or educated guess about which fruit or vegetables create more gas.
Who will be our gassy winner? We have a 4-corner fight. In the first corner we have bananas, the second corner we have the onions, the third corner we have cabbages, and in the fourth corner we have an empty bottle, our control.
And don't forget to use a system to write down what you see. And if you can, photograph it. What do you reckon, Trash? What's your hypothesis?
I think that the fruit and vegetables will create gas, and the gaseous vegetable will be the onions. What do you think, Trish?
I think you're right, Trash. The onions will create the most gas. Here we are, and it's time to look at our results.
It appears that our first hypothesis was correct, that the fruit and vegetables do create gases when they're stuck in an anaerobic environment or oxygen-free space. We see this as the balloons which had the fruit and vegetables in it inflated, but the control did not.
But it looks like we were wrong with our second hypothesis that the onion produced the most gas. We see this as the balloon on the banana bottle inflated the most.
Okay, now it's your turn, citizen scientists.
Set up your experiment as we have and see if you get similar results. Feel free to test other fruit and vegetables, such as broccoli or cauliflower.
Thanks for joining in our gassy experiment. Until our next mission, Trish and Trash,
Agents4Change.
over
And out. I'm Trish.
I'm Trash.
And we're Agents4Change.
I forgot the bottles.
Can we start all?